Today's video is going to be all about how to start reselling and really the things that you should be thinking about before you even start. Welcome back to the Freeway Flippers. I'm Liz. If you're new to the channel, I am a full-time reseller. I resell on eBay. I sell on Amazon. Really, I do anything that I can to make money. I wanted to do this video because a lot of people who find out that we do this full-time always ask, how do I start? And they ask some of the more basic questions, which is something that you watching should really consider before you start reselling. There are some really important questions you should ask yourself. The first one is going to be, what is your purpose for starting to resell? Are you wanting to just get rid of things around the house that you have laying around that you know are valuable and you can resell for money? Are you wanting to do this part-time, maybe pay an extra bill? Or are you looking to turn this into a real business and maybe replace your 9-to-5? Next, ask yourself, what do you want to sell? Because a lot of times people don't put in as much effort as they should because they're not really interested or excited about the product. And we did a video before with tips from other resellers, and that was one of the tips our friend Brad gave, was you really need to be excited about the item.
You have to be excited about your item.
So when you're first starting out, what do you want to resell? Do you want to resell sports cards? Do you want to get into Pokemon card craze? Do you want to do used clothing, golf gear, electronic, collectibles, and antiques? Like, what excites you? What would you look forward to reselling? It's really important to ask yourself, what is my budget? How much money do you have that you can set aside for buying product? Maybe you don't have a budget at all, so you're going to depend on going to Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, and trying to find free items that you can then resell. Maybe you have an extra $100 that you saved from your paycheck and you want to see what you can buy with that $100, or maybe you've saved up enough to where you have enough cash flow to where it doesn't matter, or maybe you only have $1,000 to $2,000 a month to spend on product. But that's a really good question to ask yourself and to figure out what your budget is. Your budget will then determine which business model is going to be right for you. If you only have a budget of $100, wholesale is probably not going to be the route that you're going to take, where you contact distributors, manufacturers, and you buy specific items in bulk, because when you're buying in bulk upfront, you usually have to have a little bit more money to do so. So maybe with that $100, you're just going to stick with retail arbitrage, where you're going to retailers and finding items for low that you can resell for high. Maybe mix in a little online arbitrage where you're doing the same thing only online. Buy an item from Amazon at a low price and then flip it on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace for higher. Then once you kind of figure out which business model you want to go with, maybe you just want to do thrifting, where you're just thrifting, going to garage sales. Maybe you want to buy storage units, pallets, whatever it is will kind of dictate which platform you will be the most successful on. If you want to do wholesale, eBay, Amazon might be a good option for you. If you want to stick with going out and thrifting items, maybe Poshmark or Mercari would be a good platform to sell on. Ask yourself those questions, and then you can kind of get a blueprint of how and where you should start reselling. Now, 4 years ago, I did start reselling on eBay. I grew my eBay store. I actually had grew them to thousands of items. And then we decided we were going to sell everything in full-time RV, which we did for a year and a half. That really took my inventory to a very small, minimal amount. And the reason, we didn't have the room on the RV to be able to store product like we would if we lived in a house, or like right behind me, you can see this is all my inventory for eBay. I got rid of a lot of things that we would resell, just kind of sold them off to other resellers in the Phoenix area, donated some, which was really hard to do, and then a lot of them we sold at our garage sale. But being able to go from, building up the eBay stores to thousands of items to then only having like 2 bins full of product on the 5th wheel, to now being back and putting down roots back in Arizona. We have a house. We're moving into into a new house with an outbuilding that will have plenty of space. But now I'm able to kind of rebuild and learn from my mistakes, which is another reason I want to do this video, to give you out there the tips that you'll need to be successful if you want to start reselling. The first tip I would give somebody that's going to start reselling is start small. There's so many people out there that just kind of go all in and then they become overwhelmed and then they give up. So if you start small, maybe just buy 10 items your first month. Really learn the process of being a reseller, listing them, photographing them, and whatever marketplace you sell on, whatever the requirements are. So if you start small, you are going to be better off because you'll get the hang of it and you won't become overwhelmed and you will be less likely to give up. Number two, something I didn't do the first time around. Well, I kind of did. I kind of kept inventory. And what I did was in the description on eBay, I would put bin and then the bin number. So I had these giant plastic bins. Each one had a number or a letter and all the product was in there. So if I sold something in bin B, I would go to that bin and I would have to look through all the product in the bin. And that was very time consuming. There were times where I couldn't even find items and it was so unorganized that I would recommend having an inventory system, keep a spreadsheet of everything that you've purchased, and then each item should have a specific place. So now what I do with those plastic bins, it might be bin A. Each item inside bin A then has a number, and that has really helped me. It's in numerical order or alphabetical, and it's very organized. And when I sell something, I know exactly where it is. Tip number three, become an expert on the platform you're going to sell on. And that's why I said with starting small is very important, because if you are going out and you are trying to sell on all these platforms at first, you're really not doing yourself a favor by learning and becoming an expert in one platform. So when we started reselling, we did that on eBay, but then we shifted over to Amazon and selling private label products and really dove in and spent a lot of time and effort into building that to where now it's kind of a well-oiled machine. All we do is contact the supplier, buy more product, ship it into Amazon, and we don't have to spend a lot of time and effort on that. So now what my job is to find out how to become an expert on other platforms. I'm getting into Etsy, Walmart Marketplace, and really by doing that, you're going to be better off because you're going to know the ins and outs. You're going to be able to understand all the fees, because fees are really important and can cut into your profit. You'll understand the SEO, how reviews work on certain platforms, how the shipping works, how returns work. So really, if you don't know that stuff, it can become overwhelming and frustrating to have to then, when you're trying to ship 10 items, trying to figure out how does it even work. So I think finding a platform, sticking to it, learning the ins and outs, and then you can start adding other platforms to your reselling business. Next up, which is one of the most important things, learn about shipping. That has cost us so much money. Let's say that I listed an item. I put, it's going to ship priority via the postal service. That cost might be $30 to ship something from Arizona to New York, but on UPS Ground or FedEx, it's a lot cheaper. So really understanding the different carriers that you can use to ship items. Definitely learning the postal service priority and first class. First class is anything under a pound. You can ship it in a poly bag, a box, as long as it's under 1 pound. They don't care the size, it's just by weight. Anything over a pound ships the postal service priority. There's different types of priority, flat rate, envelopes, boxes. So it's really important to learn the costs of each one because you might be able to save money. For example, I had a box that if I would have shipped it on its own, it was going to cost $11. I stuck the box inside a padded flat rate envelope from the post office, and that was only $7.75. So instantly I saved money by knowing those tips and tricks. So that's really important to know when you're first starting out, is just how shipping works. Next up, which is more a tip or if you really want to build reselling and turn it into a full-time business or job, and that is to know your expenses. Keep track. A lot of people show their profits on social media and yeah, they might have made $35,000, which is awesome. What's the cost of goods? How much did you spend on product? Make sure you're keeping track of that. Other expenses, such as if you're driving around to stores, that's gas money is an expense, time is an expense, wear and tear on your car, waiting in line, all of those things factor into it. And then also, even though there's lots of free shipping supplies, you're going to have to pay for other supplies. A Scotty peeler to peel off labels, maybe a scale, a box resizer, you're going to want Goo Gone to take off stickers. There's lots of different things that you're going to need that are going to be expenses, but always make sure if you want to find out how much you're really making, you're going to need to factor in those expenses as well. Which goes into number 6, treat reselling like a business. So know those expenses, know how to figure out, how much money are you spending and the cost of goods, expenses, and then what are you profiting? You want to make sure if you're going to really do this full time, open up an LLC, ask the advice of a bookkeeper or a CPA. That's what we have done. We have multiple LLCs and we really treat it like a business. We file taxes, pay taxes, and really a lot of people just think it's for fun. But if you make X amount of money, you're going to have to pay taxes. You're going to have to file. It's just part of reselling. So that's really something to start off on the right feet. Make sure that if you want to turn this into a business, that you are treating it like a business. All right, so number 7 would be to invest in your business and invest in yourself. Maybe you're to the point where you don't have enough time to be wasting listing to all the different platforms. You're going to invest and buy software that's going to help you list faster. Maybe you're going to pay for an eBay course because you want to learn exactly how to sell on eBay and want that step-by-step A to Z process that's already done for you from a reputable source. Maybe you're ready to take your business to the next level, which means finding more space. Maybe you're going to invest in a storage unit so that way you can buy more product. More product means more sales, which means more money. Maybe you are kind of done with being in the Facebook groups or engaging with other sellers and you really want to spend the money to then be in a group that will give you a lot more value than what you're getting. I'm a member of the West Coast Goods Leads group. I'll leave a link down below. It is an affiliate link. However, I do believe in this group and it's really taken our reselling business from making 2,000 and it just keeps growing. So sometimes you do have to spend money to make money and invest in yourself and your business. And the last tip that I think a lot more people need to be honest about, especially the quote unquote gurus that, try to sell you the courses or their coaching or whatever it is, which some of them are great. Keep in mind, this is not a way to get rich quick. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. And I've talked about this in many previous videos that, it is a business. It's just like owning a restaurant. You need capital up front, right? And you need to put in the time and the work. You can't just buy product, list it, and expect to become a millionaire. It's just not going to happen. It could happen if you put in the time and the effort and have the cash flow. Don't use reselling as a way to get rich quick or a fast way to leave your 9-to-5. Casey still is working a W-2 job even after 4 years of me building up our online businesses, and we are very successful, but we also see the value in him still working to where we can then use those funds to fund other business ventures. All right, I hope you found this video very valuable. If you did, let me know your favorite tip down below in the comments. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Freeway Flippers. And until next video, I'll catch you on the flip.